joining us at this official side event, leveraging new end-to-end voluntary carbon market integrity to accelerate green growth in Africa. I am Tarieg Badigeshin, and I am the co-chair of Vcmi. It is my pleasure to welcome you and to extend our shared gratitude to our Kenyan hosts for bringing us all together at this inaugural African Climate Summit. I'm honored to introduce Honorable Minister Jinapor, Minister of Lands and Natural Resources of Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam. Excellencies, African climate experts, policymakers, esteemed government officials, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to use this moment to express my profound gratitude to all those herein gathered, including the Voluntary Carbon Markets Integrity Initiative, VCMI, the African Carbon Markets Initiative, ACMI, and the Integrity Council for Voluntary Carbon Markets, ICVCM. Undoubtedly, this side event will leave an indelible mark on all who will have the privilege of participating, both within this room and beyond its confines. Special commendation to our esteemed keynote speakers and experts whose invaluable insights will enrich our discussions on the topic, quote, leveraging new end-to-end voluntary carbon market integrity to accelerate green growth in Africa, end quote. Ladies and gentlemen, it is truly heartwarming to witness Africa's significant advancement in the global carbon market, which is significantly brought to the fore by His Excellency President Ruto and the Kenyan government in organizing this Africa Climate Summit. Several African nations, such as Kenya, Malawi, Gabon, Nigeria, and Togo, have expressed their commitment to collaborate with the Africa Carbon Markets Initiative to amplify carbon credit production through voluntary carbon market activation plans. Ghana, my own country, is also very interested in engaging actively in the ACMI and looks forward to a concrete engagement plan beyond this summit. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as you may be well aware, Ghana has achieved significant milestones in the generation of forest carbon credits, having received its first emission reductions payment from the Carbon Fund of the World Bank. We have also made a bold step to be the first country to define a reasonable framework within which Article 6 of the Paris Agreement framework transaction can be achieved for Ghana and for both voluntary and compliance market engagements. Internationally, Ghana and the United States are co-chairing the new and phenomenal Forest and Climate Leadership Partnership, FCLP, launched at COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh as a high-level ministerial partnership to bring together government and non-governmental organizations to work on solutions to reduce forest loss, increase restoration, and support sustainable development to achieve the targets set by the Glasgow Leadership Declaration on halting and reversing forest loss by 2030. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, some initiatives already being worked on by the FCLP are on developing integrated country packages for nature and also strengthening forest carbon markets and their credit generation. The work on the forest carbon markets has identified the need to develop coordinated, holistic, and bespoke technical and financial capacity building support for all the different actors in the carbon market chain. Indeed, we do not belittle the pockets of capacity building support provided already, but the expanded scope and multi-phases of carbon credits generation, from readiness to resource-based payments, and the need for so-called high-integrity credits, necessitate that capacity building is reinforced both for the supply side and the demand side actors. This is both useful and true for the voluntary and compliance markets and will help to transcend the readiness of structures at national level into the design and development of grassroots level multi-stakeholder governance approaches. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in the prior event this morning at this summit, the FCLP has announced the launch of a working group for this forest carbon market, and I call on all relevant stakeholders to join hands to develop this body of work for high-integrity forest carbon credits. There's no 1.5 without nature and forests, and getting the market to function right for forests is a huge success factor. As a country, our engagement with the Vcmi in particular in developing the asset strategy and claims code have proven that the voluntary carbon markets, which were hitherto seen to be very volatile, unstable, and difficult to track, can be strengthened with the right tools and capacity to provide a financial ramp-up for climate action as the private sector and corporate boost needed for the voluntary carbon markets to work cannot be overemphasized. Ultimately, what is useful to Africa and other developing countries is the recognition of the efforts needed for sustainable development and the payment of the right price for carbon. Ghana believes the price will be case-specific. However, it is nothing around $5 or $10, but very much within $20 and $35, depending on national circumstances and the level of expertise and capacity to generate high integrity. This notwithstanding, we appreciate the incremental growth of the market, and in particular, the growth of developing countries to ensure that they have the right carbon market infrastructure. In this sense, Ghana believes the ICVCM in the development and application of its core carbon principles should widen their net of engagement with developing countries to understand the peculiar national circumstances, appreciate growth and progress, political will and stability, and the need to create room for stepwise improvements. Principles that do not support the growth of the carbon market will not be helpful to climate action. We must all appreciate that we don't have much time to delay the urgency needed for climate action. Therefore, the development of any principles, strategies, codes, or others must be beneficial to provide support and not just disqualify the progress any country has made. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, much will be discussed by able panelists, and I wish to re-echo this. The true potential of our collective efforts emerges when we acknowledge the sacrifices countries from both the South and North are making towards climate action. The demand side is only meaningful when, for instance, the supply side is supported to function fully, and this understanding will be crucial in defining evolving interlinkages between the voluntary carbon market and Article 6 of the Paris Agreement. I will leave you with the Latin phrase, quote, "Capiemus omnem occasionem," end quote, who charges us to seize every opportunity and platform to implement strategic actions that will usher in an era of sustainable growth that leaves no country behind. Let us continue these discussions and collaborations beyond this panel, working together to create a better Africa and a better world for ourselves and generations to come. I thank you all for your upcoming engagement and participation, which obviously promises to be exciting and fruitful. I thank you for your attention.